Jim Rupert, Dave Kane, Dick Butkus football. This is the State Journal-Register video of small school football for Week 8. We played 7. The North Mac Staunton game. First of all, give us your headliner for the week.
As far as a headliner, a performer from last week, I would say Zach Hanlon, who's the quarterback down at Kincaid South Fork. Rushed, scored 4 touchdowns. The most important thing was Kincaid. They beat Mount Olive pretty handily, but Kincaid kept their playoff hopes alive. They're 3-4. They still got to win the last 2 games, but he came up with a big performance in a game that they had to win. So he's really a good athlete.
Pawnee, the Prairie State's a mess at the top. North Mac kind of made that mess last week with the big win over Staunton.
Right.
You were there. That had to be pretty neat.
It was, North Mac again. We've talked a lot this year. The first year of the consolidation, it's a whole new school, new nickname, new uniforms, new everything. Staunton, in a way, Staunton kind of felt like Pawnee felt a few weeks ago. Staunton beat Pawnee 6-5, even though Pawnee outgained them by a lot. Everything else. Last week, Staunton had an edge over North Mac in yardage and a lot of other stuff. But Staunton, there was a little matter of 8 turnovers that Staunton committed. And, North Mac scored on a couple of kickoff returns, a fumble return, and then they finally scored, on an overtime, a regular play. So it was kind of a crazy game, but North Mac, as they say, controls their own destiny now in the Prairie State. They're 6-0. They play Pawnee Friday night. North Mac wins it. They win the title outright. If Pawnee wins, you're probably going to have 3 teams with 1 loss apiece: Pawnee, Staunton,
Who gets the automatic
North Mac. They'll all be,
Right.
They'd all be 7-1 or whatever it is. They'll make it. As far as being the conference representative, I'm not sure what their tiebreaker is, if it's like points allowed or if there's some other tie. I think different conferences do it different ways. So I'm not sure who that conference rep would be. But again, if North Mac, can win tomorrow night, then that eliminates all the guesswork. But Pawnee's going to give them a tough game.
Mount Sterling Brown County established itself as the champion of the WIVC
North.
Yeah.
Right.
With the win last week over Triopia. They swept the big ones, and right. So that puts them in the driver's seat and also elevated them to number 1 in 1A.
Yeah.
Tuscola gets beat.
Yeah, Tuscola lost. Although some people, Tuscola lost to a very good 2A Maroa team. There's some debate whether
with 1 loss,
with some debate whether Brown County is truly a number 1 team. Some people still think Tuscola is the best team in 1A. I don't know. That's hard to say.
Let's talk playoffs. What's left?
Okay.
2 weeks left in the season.
Uh-huh.
You mentioned Kincaid battling for a spot. Throw a couple other teams out there that are looking for, kind of fighting for their playoff lives with 2 weeks to go.
Yeah, well, Kincaid plays Gillespie Friday night. They're both 3-4, so it's kind of a must-win for both teams. Whoever loses, their hopes are dashed for a year. Pleasant Plains is 3-4. They have to win 2. It's going to be tough for them. They have to play Auburn Friday night, and I think they have North Mac the following week, so that's going to be a pretty tall order for Plains, but you never know. Nokomis is 3-4. I
kind of battled back a little bit because they didn't start out so well.
They didn't start out very well either, but they have to win their last 2 games. Winchester West Central is in the WIVC South this year. They're 3-4. All they have to do is beat Triopia and Brown County the last 2 weeks. So West Central is going to have their hands full.
They won't be making any playoffs.
Yeah, that's a pretty tall order. So those are some of the teams that are have to win. Have to win their last 2 to even be 5-4. There's Athens is 4-3. They play New Berlin. That's going to be an interesting game. New Berlin Athens Friday night. They're both 4-3. So the winner more than likely has an at-large spot.
And the loser is close to being eliminated.
Close.
Upon what the last one we.
Yeah, exactly. So and I think our only small school area team that is unbeaten, I believe, is Auburn. 7-0, but the only question for Auburn is whether they'll be 2A or 3A. They're kind of right on that bubble right now.
Busy weekend. State high school golf coming up at Decatur for the girls and Bloomington for the boys, and regional cross country coming up next weekend. They're playing soccer regionals, so it's a busy time at the State Journal-Register and a busy time in high school sports. And Dave Kane is a busy guy. We'll be back next week with more.
See ya.